amazing 48 hours for the Padres. Item one, obviously, is the ownership crisis. Peter Seidler's widow, Sheel, wanting to be appointed the point person. We talked about that on the Monday podcast. The potential of the lawsuit, the damage to the reputation of the team. I think this thing will get solved out of court. I don't think the suit will carry through because based on what I've been able to read, and it was a 97-page document, and I didn't go to law school. I tried to read it and got confused. But at the end of the day, his estate laid out the pecking order, and the three brothers were the ones that are at the top of the hierarchy when Peter Seidler was preparing for a transition because he knew he was dying. I don't think she's going to win this lawsuit. I think this will get settled out of court, but this is really, really ugly. Now, the sidebar story, well, the Seidlers doing this to prepare to sell the franchise, that could very well happen. This franchise has tremendous value at over $2 billion now in a small market. That's a story to be looked at down road because we surely don't want to regress back to Tom Werner and the terrible 15 era of Padre baseball.
Right.
But that's one story. Second Padres story, today, Thursday, was arbitration deadline day. If you're going to sign no guys whose contract was up, you had to offer them a contract. If they accepted it, they were locked in. If they did not, you go to arbitration. The Padres reached agreement with Luis Ariz today, 1 year, $14 million. They own him. They reached agreement with Dylan Cease, 1 year, $13.8 million. They own him one more year before he becomes a free agent. They did not reach agreement with Michael King. I was told that he wants more than $10 million per year. They weren't willing to do that. They did not get the multi-year extension done. He's going to arbitration. That being said, you can still go back, make a phone call, sit down and talk to him between now and the arbitration hearing and get him signed. What the end result is this gives the Padres now cost certainty of what it's going to cost to keep Cease or Ariz, or if you're going to trade one of those guys, John, Ariz to the Yankees, Cease to the Red Sox. Red Sox or Yankees now know what the fixed number is to rent those guys for 1 year. So this is more business related than it is a lock that they're going to be here. The sum total as of noon today, by virtue of the agreements you just made with those guys, with Morion, with Campusano, all these guys who signed today, the Padres are now on the books for $244 million. As it relates, that's the total for the luxury tax. That puts them over the tax again.
There's no way they're going to pay that.
No, which means, okay, now they got the fixed position. They know what it cost for the Rise and Cease. Now they can trade one of them, trade two of them, get under. But to go from 244 back to 170, they're going to have to shed some bodies.
A lot.
That's a real problem. Unless the Padres front office has changed its mind and will allow Preller to bump the salary up some, maybe go from 170 to 190. Which means maybe you can keep a couple of these guys. But one of the big money guys is going to go. But at least now the Yankees or the Red Sox or the Orioles or whomever now knows what the dollar figure is. I just see no way the Padres are going to open the season with a $244 million payroll. You know, you could do it and say, okay, we're going to do it, Lee, and we're going to be in the pennant race. And then we get to July 31st, John, and your team is not in the pennant race, then you can swap them out. You can trade them for half a season, but you won't get fair value for the guy.
Right.
And you still have to pay a chunk of the luxury tax. So that's where the Padres are on the dollar and cents issue with their guys. Now, do you want me to address this story on the Dodgers first, or do you want to react to the Padres?
Well, let's talk. I'll talk a little bit about the Padres first. Right. It's a shitstorm going on in social media. Dodger fan, Padre fan, talking about all this stuff. John Schaefer put out a tweet. He went through the full lawsuit, and Roki Sasaki is actually named in the lawsuit. You know, and I guess Sheel Seidler was hoping that the Padres would sign him, and she wants to continue Peter Seidler's vision and dream. But it sounds like, to your point, they do have a blueprint. It's laid out. It's legal.
Never changed.
It's the Seidler brothers. It's their thing. But through all of this chaos, why would Roki Sasaki want to sign with the Padres?
Concur with you. This lawsuit is so damaging as it relates to the perspective of how people view the operation of the franchise right now.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be solved in 15 minutes. It's not going to be solved by January 15th when Sasaki's about to make his decision. Okay,